Hey everyone, how is everyone doing on this Tuesday night? Is it too much light uh, in my apartment? That's why the picture I'm seeing myself in the camera is just too bright. What was the camera setting? I have no freaking idea. I'm not changing anything because, well, I mean, I set the camera video to reduced, because the problem is if I just set it to a high resolution, then I have to reduce the fucking file size, to upload it to YouTube, which takes forever, right? So as long as you guys can see my face, I think I should be fine, right? I mean, I'm not here to present myself in front of a fucking, live audience. Um, how is everyone doing, huh? Well, listen, I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't do a podcast last week because I was traveling with my wife. We, given that the turmoil times and all that, and, what the fuck is happening, in the world, and also the fact that, her visa interview is taking so fucking long, and who the fuck knows what's going to happen. Nothing bad, hopefully. Because remember, I was telling you we were trying to get visas for her to get to some of these countries, and they gave her a visa for a short time, and then we didn't want to miss that opportunity just in case. Who the fuck knows, dude? Things are not really peaceful in this world, right now. And so I guess we wanted to have that sort of like an option, just in case. Um, if down the road, hopefully not. Again, I don't want to sound fucking pessimistic that her interview, gets pushed further than we expect. Hopefully not. But again, thank you all for your well wishes, and hopefully we are together soon. She's home because she's not home, and it's not peaceful for me. Um, this is her, first home, and she's not here. So we were traveling, and obviously, as you all know, what happened with us, like in September when we were trying to get to those fucking countries, Turkey and all that, and it's I feel like we have been just sort of um homeless. It's like we are not home, and we're trying to get together somewhere else in some fucking foreign land, and I don't know, man. And that also gives me this anxiety, more than it gives to her. Obviously, it's more difficult for her that she's not here, with me. In any case, so without sounding too down or negative or whatever, right? um Here I am, on this Tuesday night doing my podcast. And what's new? I don't know. I mean, there's nothing new really. Same shit. It's not like world is going to fall apart, but sometimes I feel like, I don't know. And we are, like 3 weeks away from the fucking election again. Hopefully nothing. else blows up, and business has been very slow, which is not good. And then we in trying to basically avail these visas and all that, we also spend money, in traveling, and it's not easy, man, financially. And then the business has been slow. I actually did send, even before going to meet my wife in Eastern Europe, I sent a couple of proposals, and nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. So I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I feel depressed. I get depressed, thinking about these things. That seems like, it right now the world is not in my favor or her favor, or in multiple like ways. It's like, is this like one of those years? I have no fucking idea, man, because I was not expecting this long, the whole goddamn visa to take, and then I guess nobody was expecting that this year, the election year in this country, is going to be so charged. The fucking bases are charged. I had no fucking idea, dude. Some of these things, I didn't know. Nobody had predicted. I mean, I knew I made the mistake. I understand. I thought it would take a year for her to be here. That's what I understood. I didn't do my fucking homework. In any case, all right, I don't want to too much get into that whole saga, right? But obviously, both of us are suffering. So um, I don't know. I mean, she's more optimistic than I am. I'm like impatient all the fucking time, And I mean, I'm not the only one in this fucking boat. I know other people who actually have kids, but they're not together. When they need, when the kids need their fathers, and it's a fucking shit show, like legal immigration, in this country. Meanwhile, you are at the southern border, you can just walk in, right? And this is a hot topic these days. If anything, I'm hoping that whoever the fucking next president is going to be, they're going to reform the legal immigration and make it easier, you know and especially, if you're trying to bring your loved one here, or however, legally, you know so I'll just leave it at that, because I can just go on and on about the whole thing, and just rant in my own fucking, what do you call, ranting again, whining. I mean, it's actually, not only whining, it's the truth. We're suffering. So in any case, how is your week going, everyone? I was just working. I had some leftovers. Work is always there. There's no money. That's the other fucking problem. People are not paying, and it's a hassle, man. It's a fucking hassle in New York. In any case, so what can you do? What can you fucking do? Well, you just do the best you can. You know, I mean, it's not like the fucking COVID times when the things were so bad. At some point in time, I just basically isolated myself. I'm like, fuck this. I'm not. I'm not in a really real relationship, and the fucking world has shut down, and I was paying like three rents, so much fucking money, dude. And sort of like I had given up, but somehow yeah, I'm now on fucking government loans and all that, but that's something I'll have to basically pay until I fucking die, every fucking month. Um, but then if we hadn't received that, I don't know how would I have survived. To be honest with you, um, without getting into too many fucking details, but that's the reality. That's the fucking fact, dude. As much as I blame myself for being in the fucking oblivion, sometimes some of those things were the reality, the fucking reality, dude. And sort of like that also has made me either tough. I think it has made me tough. At the same time, it also has made me weak, and hopefully nothing like that happens again, because that's just a fucking disaster to a point of no return, for some people. I mean, there are some companies and some consultants who are doing the same thing that I'm doing, architects, engineers. I heard some of them actually have gone under, and I'm not giving myself some sort of a fucking, badge of honor or badge of forever, right? You but I just kept going. I think that's what it was, in my own fucking immigration issues at that time, you know. Um, because I was not too optimistic, even, about myself. But in any case, now, obviously, there are different problems, Well, the work issue, people not paying you, that's problem has been there since the fucking beginning of the dawn of apps, right? And so, what can you do, man? What can you fucking do? I I went to work for that other company, 2021 because of this, and now it seems like the history is repeating itself, But I can't work for other people, I already even cut down the office rent and all that, we moved into a fucking dungeon now without any windows, to the second floor in my office building, but like that sort of makes me depressed that I mean, yeah, just the remembrance is the nostalgia of when I moved my office to the fucking penthouse in financial district. I took the whole penthouse, which was kind of like a sudden move. I should not have done that, but then business was doing good, and then it just went down, as soon as I fucking got on to the fucking the new office space. And that was also another fucking election year with Trump, right? 2016, I'm talking about. And I remember I had to let go of two of my engineers, you know, that year because the fucking business was so slow. It became so fucking slow. But then, I brought one of them back later on in 2017, I think. Without reminiscing and being nostalgic, I guess I'm becoming nostalgic. Um, I think every fucking day is a repetition. 24 hours is a fucking repetition to an extent of itself, right? And then every fucking week is a repetition. I'm not talking about, us being a cog in the wheel. Yeah, we are like that, many of us. And then we are not with our loved ones. We don't have that fucking, life balance in our lives, right? And who was talking about that? Just just before this, I was listening to a bunch of podcasts, including Joe Rogan and PVD. He's a great guy, Patrick Bet Davis. And Theo Wan had this Hungarian psychiatrist slash, I think he's a doctor, uh, Gabor, whatever Gabor his name, and he talks about the fucking childhood trauma and how it affects your, later life. And I feel like I am one of those. I mean, I didn't have like really, really, I don't know. I mean, I don't remember that maybe somebody hit me or whatever, but that just affects your later life, especially I think he's talking about like endorphins, uh, lack of endorphins. The body, your brain doesn't produce endorphins if you're not close to your, especially with your parents when you're really young. I'm not saying that my parents abandoned me, but somehow that abandonment, somehow I think, whatever the fuck it is. I mean, we are from the mountains. There was nothing there. And everybody had to work in the fucking fields and agriculture, farms and whatever the fuck, right? And that's the story of like many of us. And then I think my issue was like mostly like malnutrition and all that, right? Because I was skinny from the beginning, and then obviously the body fucking image, right? And the body image, that's just like every time, oh man, you're so skinny. Oh man, only thing that left on your body is your nose. It looks like, otherwise you're just like gone. And I just fucking hated that. Yeah, okay, so I'm skinny. So what the fuck are you? Like 300-pound fucking gorilla, right? But in any case, without bashing fat people, you know, and all those things. Um I mean, for me, that, I mean, just imagine that I'm actually thinking about those things, and think about people, kids who really go through some tough times in their early lives, like separation of parents, or like a really bad like household, and just imagine what they go through, in later in their lives. Because that's just PTSD. They can give you PTSD. And then think about like soldiers, fucking soldiers. Remember, I mean, I don't remember. I was not here during Vietnam War. You know, but obviously, I heard a lot of stories. But I was here, during fucking Middle East war, right? And a lot of homeless people are these soldiers who have come back and who couldn't deal with fucking PTSD, right? And it's just this life in general also can give you fucking PTSD. Am I being just too negative tonight? I'm sorry, I apologize, but uh, you gotta be a really, really like tough person, stoic. That's what they were talking about on Joe Rogan's podcast. This guy Michael Schellenberger, whatever the hell his name is, right? But in any case, so how to, let go of your past? That's a tough one. Especially you have like bad memories. Just the bad fucking memories of the past. Those just fucking haunt you. And those can, I mean, what that psychiatrist, what's his name, Gabor, they were talking about with Theo One was, which is really extremely true, is that it can actually make you disconnect from your own self, in your own mind, because you can't really, you're basically running away from the fucking reality, right? All these fucking years, and then you have basically tried to hold on to something on the external. That's why people go through, like, psychedelic therapy and all that, right? Because they can basically bring you back to that fucking trauma point, and then you can try to figure out what was it. But that's not easy. That's not also easy. Taking a psychedelic, it's not fucking easy for therapy. Um, and I feel like I need more peace right now, tranquility, peace, which I don't have, obviously, because, again, without repeating myself, I don't have that balance, life balance. And just imagine, that actually he was talking about that guy Gabor, Michael Gabor, right? I think that's what his name is. So many fucking Michaels here. But in any case, um, um, that like if you don't have the human interaction, like living alone or the loneliness, he was saying that living alone, loneliness, because it has such a bad effect on your health. And I know this more than anybody else because I have lived alone for most part in my life, since I left mountains in northern Pakistan to pursue, higher studies here. Since then, I've been living alone, literally, like fucking literally. So that's about 23 fucking years. Um, and it's not, I think it's also not about living alone. It also about and I'm just quoting what the fuck they were talking about, what he was talking about, because I'm not an expert, or I don't fucking know too much about this. Is that, if you have all that garbage from whatever, you were not confident from the beginning, or you didn't get that closeness with your parents. I mean, I was close to my mom more than my dad. I think that's why that also, especially if you are a male, you have to be close to your dad from the beginning. From the beginning, I was, I think, but then later on, somehow the relationship fell apart, and that also has affected me. So in any case, so regardless, coming to fucking, the point I was trying to make was that then I come here, and in pursuit of whatever relationship I was looking for at that time, which I couldn't find, and then fucking 9/11 wasn't helpful, right? And all those things has contributed to my own fucking loneliness more than like anything. And nobody, sometimes I feel like, I have actually like made my own self suffer, you know. Yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to be in a relationship with someone, in a hunky dory relationship, where everything is to an extent, satisfying, and at least you can get that, aspect of your life sorted out, right? But then relationships are not also fucking easy, in the Western world. First of all, I've said this, all of you who are single, really, who are here in Northeast, really, you should try to move down fucking south. To be honest with you, there's no relationships here. Honestly, it's just stuff. Northeast is like the fucking crucible. It's the fucking crucible, because I know this and I have known this, and I don't need to deal with that right now, because I have a loving and caring wife that I met 2 years ago, more than 2.5 years ago, whatever, right? But I'm not saying that you can't find somebody here, but it's just very tough. It's a fucking tough, like, you know, field. It's a tough fucking, ground. More so for guys than ladies, and I'm not bashing ladies just because it's easy for you, but it is easy somehow, and that's the fucking truth, that's the fucking truth, you know and and then people judge you. Oh, where are you from? Oh, blah blah blah, and that's the other fucking aspect, right? I mean, people judge you just by looking at you, and it's like, I feel like I'm at a point where I just don't want to deal with any of like fucking like bullshit that I've dealt with in the past, The biggest thing I think for many of us who have that garbage from the early age, right? Is that we are not confident. We were not confident, and then we became overconfident. In my case, somehow I felt like when I left, our house in the mountains to go to college, first year, second year college, I was so fucking overconfident. I felt like I was on top of the fucking world. I was reading fucking Rumi and and this and that, and I was, you know but I felt like I wish I had that, like, even when I was in high school, and I was not confident. I guess, I don't know. I mean, somehow that's why I blame my father. Hey man, you are so fucking educated, but you didn't give us that fucking, whatever, the closeness, whatever. I don't want to blame my father too much, because I mean, I don't want to fucking, like, again, go into the past, because it's just not because I'm comparing myself to other people who had better childhoods, um, but I think the closeness is more important. Like, if I want to have a kid now, right? Then obviously I want to give my kid the whole world, the whole fucking world. Obviously, this is different than 1970s when I was growing up. There was nothing up at the fucking mountains and this and that, and I shouldn't blame my parents. But life is just something that has to be evolving, and for the better. And then, then the question, becomes, okay, so again, it's like, okay, so maybe you are too old to have a kid, man. I don't know, man. And these things are just like fucking sometimes bother me. Things are bothering me, and I think about all these things. But then if I look at other people, even in my own industry of what do you call AEC, architectural engineering construction, I know colleagues from back then, they started having kids even when they were in their, when they were in their 50s. So I don't know. So for now, I'm just going with the fucking flow, dude. I'm just going with the flow because, sometimes how you feel like you are just too tired, man. You're just too fucking tired. And then, you keep doing this, whatever the hell you're doing for work, and, being a cog in the fucking wheel. And then sometimes I feel like, why? I mean, shouldn't I be doing something more like interesting? I'm not saying that engineering, which is what I do, is not interesting, but shouldn't it be more rewarding? And construction here in New York is also not easy. It's just everybody is like, hey, they want everything right now, and gives you a lot of anxiety, deadlines, and this and that. But as you grow older, I think you need more peace and more tranquility. And then, the fucking New York weather, as you can hear me, I have a different voice now, right? Because I have a little like mild cold, and I took a little bit of fucking NyQuil this morning actually, because I woke up 6 o'clock. I was watching fucking football last night, the Jets game and Bills, right? And then, I was betting a little bit of money on fucking Jets, and then they lost, you know. And my friend who's down in Houston, that's his fucking team. I don't have an American football team yet. I don't know who to fucking choose. Now we are, sixth week of football season, NFL. But I do watch, NFL Sundays and Monday, obviously, because I don't have a lot of things to do besides work. I can't play fucking golf. That also gives me anxiety and depression. My sciatica is still the same. I'm not doing anything. I don't feel like really doing anything, to be honest with you. Um, I don't know. I'm really like going with the fucking flow, which is not really good, to be honest with you. Are you just leaving everything up to the universe, sir? I have no fucking idea. I mean, the universe is not going to do anything for me. I got to do everything. You got to do whatever you need to do for yourself, for your family, whatever, your loved ones, right? The universe is not going to do anything. Universe has brought you into this fucking world, or your parents have, right? And so I just got to keep reminding myself that, hey man, do not be too like sad or angry or depressed. Keep your tranquility tranquil, and have more peaceful. One thing I would say about Albania, we went to Albania. It's a great fucking country, but the city, Tirana, oh my fucking god, dude, that place has the traffic, which is a fucking nightmare. We had a rental car and everything, but I mean, it's a nightmare. And the city's streets, some of them are so fucking narrow. It's not even a fucking joke. And I got so angry at some point in time. I remember one day, and it just like made me so fucking worked up. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing here? Why are we here? This and that, and, So that place, obviously was built during communism, right? That whole city after the fall of the fucking, uh, World War II, In any case, so that country has only been on its feet, and then obviously corruption. It has been only on its feet for what, like 30 years now, 30, maybe 34 years, right, since the fall of fucking communism. But if you go to the countryside, it's beautiful mountains, etc., etc. They also have some beautiful beaches. We didn't go to. We didn't have time. I didn't plan it. It basically this trip was kind of like not really planned, sort of. But we did it because again, because we wanted to have this opportunity, especially for my wife, just in case if this fucking thing, because I don't trust this immigration, man, because who the fuck knows. So um I think I should just focus on like the things that I want to do in my life. Yeah, my wife would be here hopefully next year. By mid next year, hopefully, we will have a definite, sort of like, an interview date and everything, right, for her. Unfortunately, that's the fucking time it takes, unfortunately. Can you be a little more positive, sir? Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying, okay? I'm fucking trying. And then it's getting cold here, and that also gives me some fucking chills. I think this is what it was. The other day, actually, I was this fucking cold. The other day, I was sitting outside at a bar here in Jersey City with a friend of mine. He came, and we were just talking shit, as usual. And they had some fucking karaoke going on. And I think I was not dressed up properly. Maybe that's why I got the fucking cold. And this also, the weather here is just too fucking cold up here in Northeast. And that also gives me chills. And and I'm trying to stay these 3 months after holidays, but I have to go back to Pakistan to meet with my wife. But when I come back, it's going to be really tough because it's going to be fucking horrible here, like January, February. And I know I've been saying this, that I should spend like 3 months down in fucking Florida, somewhere, Orlando or one of those, right? Or maybe Fort Lauderdale, right? West Palm Beach, when the weather down there is nicer and no fucking hurricanes, by the way. A friend of mine, actually, he went down to North Carolinas or Carolinas to do some volunteering work for the people who, suffered from fucking Hurricane Helene. It's unfucking believable that, so many people have died from that fucking hurricane. It's actually worse than Sandy. I remember fucking Sandy in 2012. A lot of damage, but I don't think we had a lot of deaths. But in any case, so, he went down there, so good for him. It's actually good for the people that, he's helping them. And hopefully this fucking hurricane season is over. But you never know. You never fucking know because Sandy happened towards the end of fucking October. I remember. Was that mid October around this time? Jesus fucking Christ. In any case, so what the fuck I was talking about? All right, so I was talking about moving down to Florida for 3 months, and this fucking like cold is already making my bones creaking. I was joking with these other people on the group chats, and getting old is not fun, to be honest with you. Getting old is not fun. Getting old and being single, not single, but being living alone is not fun. You know. And actually, the Sunday I was watching some games at this other beer garden, right? So I talked to these gentlemen, and and we were basically saying the same fucking thing, dude. It's like what this world has come to. What the fuck has this world come to, where we have just decided to live alone at because of our own choice or societies, whatever the fuck, right? And and you feel it when you go through some shit in life, and I wish that nobody actually has to go through any health issues in their lives, even this fucking sciatica that I have been having had for like fucking 8 months now, and I'm not doing anything. If it gets worse, and then I had to do some fucking surgery, right? I had to do fucking surgery, and then my wife is not here, and then I'm just like, I don't know, dude. It's just tough. All I'm saying. And so is fucking this cold fucking weather is tough. And honestly, I don't want to be here between January and end of March at least. What are you going to do down in Florida, sir? You can't even fucking play golf. Yeah, golf is something that I really miss, to be honest with you. It's like that was my sort of therapy on the fucking turf, just being outside and, like playing some shots, putting, and all that, right? And I don't know. I just, I'm just going with the flow, man, which is not good. I'm going with the really going with the flow. I got to really like deal with this Erica. I think that's the first thing I need to do. And then at least, for the next season, if not this season is over now, more or less, right? For fucking golf, at least I can play some golf next season. And so, without being too depressed, at least I can be out there, couple of hours, 2.5 hours, 3 hours. And I can take some of these young guys, to the driving range, maybe get them into golf. Um, Golf is great because you don't need anyone, you don't need any fucking team to play golf. You can just go out there, play by yourself. It's good to play with a friend, but you can just play by yourself and just like fuck it, dude, who cares. But in any case, one thing that I was listening to PBD podcast, right? Patrick Bet Davis. So they were talking about Elon Musk he made some other fucking news, which I wanted to actually look into. So Elon Musk basically made another history by bringing his what? Elon Musk makes another history. I don't want to fucking type out this one. Elon Musk makes another history. What history is that, sir? Okay, so what he does is that SpaceX. Okay, so I think this is what happened. So SpaceX on October 13th, which is basically 2 days ago, right, when they successfully caught the Starship rocket's booster with mechanical arms during its fifth test flight. What happened? The Starship rocket's lower half, known as the Super Heavy booster, was captured by the launch pad tower's mechanical arms as it returned to Earth. The arms, nicknamed chopsticks by SpaceX and Mechazilla by fans, were used for the first time. This achievement brings SpaceX closer to its goal of developing a reusable and rapidly deployable rocket. The Starship rocket is designed to transport people and cargo between cities on Earth and to build bases on the Moon and Mars. Okay, there we go. So he basically brought the fucking, that rocket back. And I was looking at that fucking video. He brought the rocket back and it basically came down onto the launch pad. Means onto the fucking, the rocket launch pad, including the, what do you call, the arms. I mean, he brought the rockets back, right? And then they were basically landing back on fucking these ships in the sea and all that, right? He did that, but this time he actually brought back to the fucking launch pad in Cape Canaveral, wherever the fuck he, launched it from. So there you go. I think this is the beginning of fucking what, Star Trek? I have no fucking idea. And in my world, in my fucking world of my own fucking imagination, we are still primitive. This is extremely fucking primitive. This is like, I feel like I've been through this fucking, life many times. When I see something like this, I'm like, yeah, well, you know what? This is nothing. I mean, by this time, we should have had these ships, these huge ships, which actually, which we don't even have to worry about this shit. This is like, what the fuck is this? That, oh, we made history. Elon Musk made history by bringing the fucking, what, his rocket back to the Starship. I mean, not the Starship, to the launching pad. Come on, humans. I mean, this should have been done like 40 years ago, for fuck's sake. I mean, without bashing NASA and obviously, he's doing that on a. They were talking about the economics and all that, right? Elon Musk does that for a tiny amount as opposed to fucking NASA, wasting all that money. NASA obviously will waste that fucking money. Why? Because fucking government. That's what they do. All right. So I mean, really, I mean, this is like primitive shit, and it comes to like space travel and all that. To be honest with you, or maybe I'm just too much into science fiction. I have no fucking idea, but if this is something that has been done for the first time, hey, good for Elon Musk. He's doing all this shit. He has 12 kids, as opposed to us. We are whining, you know, and but at the same time, I think we should also say that he got lucky. He got $25,000 from his father when he moved to Canada, whatever the fuck, right from South Africa, and then that he invested that in fucking, what do you call, PayPal or whatever the fuck it was, right? Which was like the paying system for the first time on the internet, right? And him and these guys, they were geniuses. They knew somehow, they knew the fucking future, and and that's how he basically, he popped up his head above the fucking waters, and that's how he basically, he came up with Tesla and fucking SpaceX, because you need a lot of capital money. So if you own PayPal back in the days, because remember eBay was the commerce site, right, back in the days, and eBay's payment system was through fucking PayPal, right? So in any case, yeah, I mean, it was not exactly like, he came from a really poor family. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he came from a rich family, but he had a lot of ideas, you know, and he has a brain he used, basically that's what it is. Many of us, we just fucking, our brain is not that, you know, I think the term I want to use it, free. I think I would like my brain. I feel like I'm constricted by a lot of restrictions of my own past or whatever the fuck it is that I was not confident. I don't have that insight. You know. Yeah, I can tell you the fucking stories, right? You can turn them into fucking science fiction movies about what's going to happen. Let's say, fucking 10 years from now, 20 years from now, but that's just fucking science fiction. But I won't be able to use that, you know, for my own making. See, that's the whole fucking point I'm trying to say. Is that sometimes I fall back, realizing that I'm just a cog in the wheel because I don't know how to use my fucking brain, in a proper way, and and then I'm in the fucking lane of opportunities. Here I am just fucking complaining and whining and fucking can't get out of my fucking past, that haunts me or whatever the fuck it is, right? But um what was the term that I just used? Oh, so my mind is not that free to have that free thinking, and that fucking brainstorming that probably Elon Musk does in his own fucking mind, right? Uh, but I've been thinking about, I don't know, I've been thinking about ideas, just thinking, nothing on paper or nothing, really solid that I'm going to do, like, yeah, I'm doing this podcast. Maybe I should expand this, but what? Expand this to what? 100 other viewers? I have no fucking idea. I think I want to do something live, maybe, but then live, what? Like what? I don't know. I don't know. I have to look into that. But that would be, won't it be a fucking talk show? And why do you want to do a fucking live, dude? I mean, unless you are a fucking comedian, you want to like talk about jokes and turn your past into jokes, or even current situation into jokes, and maybe you can cash that, right? Or maybe I should go up on the fucking stage, right, and say, listen, I want to do this because I need to fucking have that extra income, you know? Why the fuck not? But you can't say that because that's not a joke, all right? To be a comedian, you need to have jokes, all right? And that's a skill. That's a fucking skill. Like, if you are a comedian, you cannot be an engineer, all right? Same thing. Same thing for me. I can't be a fucking comedian. I don't have any fucking jokes, all right? I tried, but I don't have any fucking jokes. Maybe if I smoke some CBD, maybe some fucking weed, maybe I can have some jokes, but I have no fucking idea, all right? Uh, but I don't know, man. I gotta come up with some ideas because I feel like I have a lot of potential. I talked to my cousin, and he says the same thing. Hey, man, I feel like I wasted my life. I'm like, man, don't feel that way, okay? Fuck that. Don't feel like you wasted your life. I mean, he has done a lot of like nurturing and all that for his younger brothers. Sort of like raising them like his kids, but I haven't done any of that, dude. I'm like, I think I have been partying too fucking much in New York, and And then all of a sudden I stopped, you know, in 2017 or whatever, 18 especially. I moved out of fucking New York, and I'm like, fuck that, you know. But then COVID happened, and I'm like, holy shit, we need to party more, you know, to keep this fucking planet alive. But then, I don't know. I think I will just close my podcast on one thing, which is what I think a lot of people, intelligent people, and a lot of other podcasters are talking about, is that we are losing our own place in this fucking time among all these, cell phones and fucking smartphones and social media. And I think I've said this to a point of like beating it to death, right? But I think the human interaction, the human connection, you can't replace that with fucking social media and this bullshit Facebook bot. Unfucking fuckable bullshit. All right. So that's just something that we are dealing with now. Like everybody is like looking at their fucking Instagram stuff. Fuck that, dude. You know, I rather, especially after COVID, I feel like that, uh, you know, yeah, I was in fucking oblivion, with fucking bourbon drinking and all that, right? But then at the same time, I think something like COVID has made me more human. Yeah, I'm more sort of sometimes angry, at this world, and obviously angry at my own self, you know, for not doing what I should have done, during different times of my life. But obviously, you have to basically take a step and say, listen, man, although all that, you know, do's and don'ts and whatever the fuck, they don't matter now. This is where you are. This is where the time flows to forward. And so I have to basically just, tell myself, and yeah, you got to fucking keep moving. You know, you got to keep moving. Oh shit, what the fuck I was trying to say, and then I lost the chain of thought. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, so this note. So the note that I was going to end my fucking podcast without sounding like a fucking wizard of whatever, people call me the fucking Dark Lord, right? Somebody told me, and then I'm like, yeah, maybe I'm the fucking Dark Lord. Who the fuck knows, right? But I think the human connection is the most important, you know. So I think somehow COVID has made me a little more human, maybe a little less fucking robotic, and show a fucking happy face to everyone. It has made me more human, and with my own emotions and my own needs, the needs which are purely being a humanoid machine, you know. And part of our humanoid machinistic trait is interaction with other people, not with these fucking computers and gadgets, all right? So think of it, think of that this way, right? Every fucking apocalyptic, dystopian movie shows that some fucking machine takes over, and then we lose the fucking humanity. Is that what it is? I have no fucking idea. Hopefully not. Hopefully that is not the fucking end game on this fucking planet. All right? Because this planet is still run by the fucking humans, not by machines, not yet. All right? So we are the primates, all right? And we have built this world. Yeah, we have caused destruction and all that, but then we're getting better, I think. Except that if this fucking machinistic world is going to take over, then it's not going to be fun, because I feel like we're already becoming fucking too much of a robotic species. It's like you have to show a fucking happy face. That's why I like to talk to people in here, especially in America, and especially I have to say this one more time, that every time I go to another country, and then when I come back, I appreciate being here more. After all, this is my home. America is my home. All right, and this is also my wife's home, except that it will take a few more months. Hopefully, she'll be home. And so I gotta say that I appreciate what this country has to offer, the freedom, everything, and opportunities and everything, and so that's a positive note to end the podcast, right? I hope you all are having a great week. I will talk to you all next Monday or Tuesday.